Yeah, hi there. These comments are for one of my students, and I am Michael, the founder owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the online TOEFL course, the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL iBT. So you're answering independent writing practice test number 5. Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Teachers should be paid according to how much their students learn. Give reasons and examples to support your opinion. With yours, I think overall you have a pretty good organization. So you have 504 words, but the main thing that will bring down your writing score right now is 2 words: language use. And that means, I think, mostly vocabulary and also some grammar issues. So let's see what we have. So teaching is one of the most important jobs in the world. In the past, you want to change this to PAST. In the past few centuries, and I would use present perfect here, it has become one of the primary reasons for the development in science, technology, and space. And to make this a little bit more formal, you can say, therefore, when we take a deep look at this improvement, we may see this is a little bit wordy here. So how about this? Humans impressively reached a high level of knowledge. Somehow teaching may be where the science came from. Therefore, some people think that teachers should be paid according to how much their students learn, but you have to say on the other side, because that's what but means. Little wordy. But others say that they should have normal salaries. You want to make this plural, like other jobs. Of the two choices, I prefer that teachers have, don't need to say must here, I prefer that teachers have normal incomes like other jobs, because I'm going to say if here, it's probably better here. So if they get paid according to how much their students learn. See, this is where it may be conventions between. Do you mean it may be contentious? It may cause competition. This is what's really killing your writing. And even when I look into the paragraph, I can't exactly figure out what you're trying to say. So I'm just going to have to guess. So I don't really know what you mean there. That's causing problems with your communication, that word conventions. There may be students who are not equal. There may be misunderstandings in evaluations. That's what I'm going to say so far. All right, let's see if we can figure this out. I'm going to look at this paragraph so you can figure out what you're trying to say. When the teachers get paid, I would use active meaning here, depending on, need apostrophe S here, students' understanding. Teachers might do conventions I'm going to say might become so competitive and see, I don't really know. Only you know what you mean here, so I'm going to try to make it make more sense. So teachers become so competitive that they make deals with students to pretend that they understand. For instance, when this happens, there will be something to evaluate the student's knowledge. Objective and subjective exams. Instead of saying something, you want to be more specific here. So your vocabulary, like I said, it's a language use issue with you. You understand more or less how to organize the writing, but you just don't have the vocabulary to really do it. So for instance, when this happens, teachers will have to create objective and subjective exams to evaluate students' knowledge. So I'd like you to review the apostrophe. So if you go to Google, just put in there how to use the apostrophe in academic writing and review that at a website. So the teachers may make deals with the students to do well. You might say, on these tests, by giving them money, I'm going to use the word competitive. So I'm trying to make this paragraph unify itself a little bit better. So let's see, for instance, when this happens, teachers will have to create objective and subjective exams. An objective exam would be a multiple choice exam. A subjective exam would be something like an essay exam to evaluate the students' knowledge. So the teachers are going to make deals with the students to do well. Give you a better vocabulary word here, to excel on these tests by giving them money so that these competitive instructors can get higher incomes. Now this would be a huge issue at the time because teachers Now this would be a huge issue at the time because the teachers So this kind of behavior would not reflect the teacher's abilities, nor would it So it looks like I'm going to say I think it's pretty clear here you don't understand the apostrophe, right? So figure that out. See if you can figure that out over the next week or so. So sometimes we do put S's when we're using a noun before another noun and want to show possession. For example, John's bike, I might say John apostrophe S. Now, in this case, I'm putting the apostrophe after the S because it's a plural possessive noun. You say, now this would be a huge issue at the time because this kind of dishonest behavior would not reflect the teacher's abilities, nor would it reflect students' understanding of the course. Moreover, you might have said, moreover, due to the over so due to the over-competitive nature of the instructors, that's what I would say there. Okay, so I think we have it. So moreover, due to the over competitive nature, I'm going to say the overly competitive nature of the instructor, students would graduate without really having been prepared academically. Right? So, see, that's the problem though. So see, I don't really know what you're trying to say, so I have to go back and change your thesis here. It may cause competitions between the teacher and the student. There may be students who are not equal, and there may be misunderstandings in evaluations, right? So the paragraph, I tried to clarify your ideas a little bit more. So you say, when the teachers get paid depending on the student's understanding, teachers might become so competitive that they make deals with the students to pretend that they understand. For instance, when this happens, teachers will have to create objective and subjective exams to evaluate the student's knowledge, so the teachers may make deals with the students to excel on these tests by giving them money so that these competitive instructors can get higher incomes. Now, this would be a huge issue at the time because this kind of dishonest behavior would not reflect teachers' ability, nor would it reflect students' understanding of the course. Moreover, due to the overly competitive nature of the instructor, students would graduate without really having been prepared academically. So I don't know. I think we have it working a little bit better. So notice how I use the idea here, competition, right? Well, then I repeat it in the topic sentence in this paragraph. And then I use it again here. And I also even use it near the end of this paragraph. So what I'm trying to do is to unify. I'm trying to unify your paragraph a little bit more. I also added some more specific vocabulary words. For example, objective and subjective exams there. I put that in there. I create this sentence which helps clarify. I use the word dishonest behavior. I use the word reflect the teacher's abilities, nor would it reflect students' understanding. Notice how when I use a negative word here, I don't put the subject next. I say nor would it reflect instead of nor it would reflect. So that's also demonstrating a little bit more advanced grammar than what you're showing here in this essay. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. You say, in addition, another thing that would affect the teachers is because the students are not mentally equal. But what you're saying here, this topic sentence, it doesn't go back to this. So teachers should be paid according to how much your students learn. Do you agree or disagree with it? So you disagree with it, right? So we need a little bit better topic sentence here. We have the students are not mentally equal. So I think that's going to work. So we needed a topic sentence here that connects to the purpose of the writing, and the topic sentence that you had did not directly do that. That's why I created this. Then you say, for example, sometimes you have teachers are very talented. Probably don't need to say this, but the students may not be interested but students may not be interested in learning the course materials. They may act lazy, or they may even not want to study at all. No, you've said the same thing in all of these things. You don't even need to say any of that, really. You're just repeating what you're already saying. It's redundant. You say, but students may not be interested in learning the course materials. Therefore, the teachers you might say will get unfairly punished earning less money because of these, you might say, unmotivated students. But you know what? I mean, we have to look at this. I don't even think any of this works very well, because if you look at what we're saying here, you're saying that not all students are mentally equal. That means different students have different abilities intellectually. Some students have better brains than others, therefore they can score higher. But what you're saying here doesn't really match that idea. I'm going to say some students I'm going to change this. There may be students who underperform, and there may be misunderstandings. So I'm changing that. So that way the example that you give matches what you're saying in the topic sentence. Underperform. So when teachers, okay, in addition, you have teachers should not be paid according to how much your students learn because some students, we have to be careful we don't make an overgeneralization here, because some students intentionally do not do their best. For example, sometimes teachers are very talented, but students may not be interested in learning the course materials. Therefore, the teachers will get unfairly punished by earning less money because of these unmotivated students. Of course, everybody has different levels of understanding, which could also hugely affect the teacher's salary. Let's make it plural. In brief, when the teacher's income, we need a verb here, right? When the teacher's income depends on the student's knowledge, it is true that it will make get what he or she deserves but these teachers will get now here's some word order issues here. Let me show you what I would do here. Again, it's because you don't like that apostrophe S, you will do everything you can to avoid not using that, right? Because you don't know how to use it. But what if you said this, but these teachers' yearly or monthly incomes so I think we have it. See how this is a lot more concise way to say this idea? But these teachers' yearly or monthly incomes will get affected by these unmotivated and so I'm just trying to tie everything that you said together there. Let's see if we have it. So in addition, teachers should not be paid according to how much your students learn because some students intentionally do not do their best. For example, sometimes teachers are very talented, but students may not be interested in learning the course materials. Therefore, the teachers will get unfairly punished by earning less money because of these unmotivated students. Of course, everybody has different levels of understanding, which could also hugely affect the teacher's salaries. In brief, when the teacher's income depends on the student's knowledge, it is true that it will make each teacher get what he or she deserves, but these teachers' yearly or monthly incomes will get affected by these unmotivated students and by those who have varying levels of understanding. All right, so I think we have that paragraph straightened out. All right, let's take a look at your last paragraph here. Again, you want to take this idea and connect it back to everything else. So we have here, paying teachers according to the student's learning could make it difficult to assess exactly how much the students learned. Definitely there will be an evaluation committee to evaluate the student's knowledge, but it will not always be the right estimate for the teachers. For example, the students may not like this teacher, or I'm going to say may have had a problem with him or her, so they might plot. Good word. I like the word plot. They might plot maybe against the teacher. Maybe comma. I'd probably say it like this: from gaining more income. So therefore this is a serious problem that I don't know who we is, so let's give it a more specific idea here. So you might say this is a serious problem that society would face at that time. So let's see if we have it. So also, paying teachers according to their students' learning could make it difficult to assess exactly how much the students learn. Definitely, there will be an evaluation committee to evaluate the students' knowledge, but it will not always be the right estimate for the teachers. For example, the students may not like this teacher, or they may have had a problem with him or her, so they might plot against the teacher, thereby preventing him or her from gaining more income. Therefore, this is a serious problem that society would face at that time. In conclusion, when the teacher's salary, you need a verb here, depends on student achievements, there may be, no colon is needed here, there may be cheating by the teachers with the students. The unequal students will be affected by the great teachers by decreasing their income, and we might not see the extent of students on the students understanding Okay, I think we have it more or less. So I made some corrections to the writing. Now the question here is, what is your score, right? Where are you right now? So I think that you're in pretty good shape. I mean, you got a lot of ideas there. So I'm going to put you right now at 3.0 out of 4. Yeah, so here the thing is sometimes it's difficult understanding what you're saying. You remember the word convention I changed to competition. I wasn't exactly sure what you're saying. So you have some problems with sentence formation and word choice that makes your meanings and ideas unclear. You have mostly accurate but limited range of sentence structures and vocabulary. So I'm going to put you at 3.0 out of 4. 20 points out of 30. Now, what does that mean? For the purposes of the midterm, a score of 3.0 puts you at 76%. Now, what I said in the beginning is I think that you need to concentrate a lot on vocabulary. You already understand more or less how to write and how to organize ideas, but your vocabulary limitations are making it hard for you to improve. So my recommendation is vocabulary lesson number 4, vocabulary lesson number 5, and vocabulary lesson number 6. If you can learn those 1,500 vocabulary words, you will be you'll have a much fuller range, I think, of expression of ideas. Secondly, you also need to work on your punctuation, right? I think that would be important. So if you go over to my website, let me see if I can. Let's go over to the top here. So let's take a look at, I'm going to try to give you some lessons I think that will help you based on your writing abilities right now. So I'm going to the grammar part of my course right now. So write these things down. I think here, lesson number 11, you should pay attention to subject, verb, inversions, I think. I think lesson number 13, word choice. Lesson 16, count and non-count nouns. Lesson 17, verb tenses, I think is important for you. Lesson 20, articles. I'd like to have you lesson 26, sentence variety. Lesson number 27, being more concise. And then you can focus on the lessons on punctuation. So which ones do we have here? How about lesson 28, when to use commas? How about lesson 29, semicolon, colon, dash, period, question mark, exclamation point? I think will also be important for you. So those are some grammar lessons I advise that you to work on also. All right. Anyway, thank you for completing this writing practice test.